Fran, Michigan State's statistically playing better defense than they have under Izzo. Does that show up on tape as you watch them, their defense?
You know, what I see is a consistent defensive team, you know, with a focus and a determination that has been their staple. It's what's made them special over the years. I mean, they've got great players and they can score, but, you know, they're going to battle you. They're going to be tough, they're going to be physical, they're going to rebound. You know, I mean, never more evident than the Indiana game. That was really impressive. I have a lot of respect for Indiana's team and what they've done. And the defense that night was pretty intense.
It was 1 through 5 too, wasn't it? The whole team was playing kind
of. Yeah, but I think that's fairly typical.
They've always had good point guards who are pretty good leaders, but Travis Trice kind of stepped into that role, and I think he's leading the Big Ten in assist-to-turnover ratio. What is he doing that's enabled him to take care of the ball where the rest of the team is not doing it quite as much as he is?
He's done that well, you know, in the past. I mean, Applin's had some injuries, and he took over. The thing about him is that he can also score. He can shoot the ball. He's a late-game shot maker. So again, his role this year, you know, he's the guy. You know, he's a senior. I think he welcomes that. But he's been pretty good, you know, his entire career there, getting them into their stuff, and making threes, and not turning the ball over.
Their previous 2 games here were great opportunities for your team. They couldn't quite make the one more play to win them. Does those have any kind of lingering effect, or is that something that's out of everyone's mind, you think?
I'm not sure. Remind me again?
Okay, the last 2 times Michigan State's played here.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I think that's a good point. They've been very intense, hard-fought games. You know, we had leads, and we didn't close them out. And they're always frustrating. You're right. But I think what you do is, you know, you respect your opponent and you try to figure out, okay, what can we do differently? You know, what can we do differently on offense? What can we do differently on defense? You know, as coaches, should we run different kinds of plays? Should we play different guys? And we just keep working at it. You know, we don't belabor it.
Last year, after that loss, you questioned your team's toughness. This year, that doesn't seem to be quite as the intangible. It's quite an issue with North Carolina win the other night, Ohio State. How is your team mentally different than maybe it was a year ago?
I thought our team last year was pretty tough. I didn't think we were tough that night. You know, that wasn't a characteristic. I didn't think of that team. You know, I thought that night we were not the tougher team. Simple as that. And I said it. I wasn't afraid to say it. I said it to them, and I said it in here. You know, this year's team, I think the difference was, which was what your question was. I think our consistency defensively has been better. You know, last year, you know, I said this the other night. At this time, you know, we were a very potent offensive team. We were scoring like 88 points a game or something like that. Different kind of team. And I think we tended to rely on that a little bit more maybe. And this year's team has had to rely a little bit more on defense and rebounding and toughness to win. You know, certainly the other night was evident of that.
Is Gabe a guy you think maybe is more comfortable coming off the bench and starting? Have you thought
he really likes to come off the bench. You know, the only reason to start him would be if I felt like, you know, it's going to be a reward for how well he's playing. I think anytime you make a change in the starting lineup, you know, this way I look at it is it's got to benefit both people. Is it good for Woody? Is it good for Gabe? And ultimately, is it good for our team? I think Woody's contribution is sometimes, you know, when Gabe comes off the bench and gets 18 points, it's easy to say, oh, well, you know, he should be starting. You know, Woody's contribution is more at the other end of the floor. You know, he's a communicator on defense. He's a high-level rebounder. He's a high-level defender. So his value is every bit as important to our team, just a different way.